an evil fog. Cyclone, use your whirling powers to investigate. Around and around I go. A whirlwind. Tis I, Cyclone. With fist that fly. You can't stop my whole evil army. When Cyclone spins, evil never wins.
Cyclone, new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Each toy sold separately from Mattel.
A copter over a Cookie Crisp. It's the Cookie Crisp.
Just checking the traffic.
Cookie Cook, this scheme to get Cookie Crisp isn't taking off.
Who can blame me? It looks like little chocolate chip cookies.
But Cookie Crisp cereal stays crispy in milk, and it's part of this complete breakfast. Well, Cookie Cook, it's time you started a new career.
Yeah, this one's definitely winding down.
If you like cookies.
Now, Phil, you're saying that as the children watch these cartoons or these commercials, they're influenced by what they see.
Oh, yeah. Children, you see it on Saturday morning. They become glued to the television set. In fact, television reacts on a physical body much like an addictive drug. It brings you in a depressed state, and you're watching it in this depressed state. You've heard the terms glued to the television.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that type of thing. But it's a physical reaction from your brain.
So now, you're saying that the commercial ties also together with the toys, because we saw the Masters of the Universe, this Cyclone character that's just come out.
What I'm trying to show through these commercials is that when a child watches these about 30 times during a Saturday, he is programmed by the companies to be an advocate for their product. And that's when an intelligent mother walks out and buys a box of cereal that's over 50% sugar and feeds it to her kids, knowing full well that kid's going to bounce off the walls in 20 minutes.
Because the child is going to be on her case and say, "Mama, I want to eat Cookie Crisp," until she finally gets it.
Oh, yeah. You've never seen a commercial, cereal commercial for children during the Super Bowl or during 6 o'clock news. They don't care if you ever see it because they create an advocate within your home. Now, if they can do that with 30-second commercials, think what they can do with 30-minute cartoons.
Okay, now let's go for a second. Here's a box of cereal, and there's little characters on here. Rainbow Bright. Does this tie with any toys that are out?
Oh, yeah. They're starting to license a lot of the cereals to link with toys. And so it creates a greater desire for the toy and the cereal and other licensed products.
And here's another one, G.I. Joe. And we know that a lot of his characters are out right now. And the G.I. Joe characters are getting occultic too, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're seeing this more and more, and we'll show some of their characters a little later to show you just how occultic G.I. Joe is going. I think what we'd like to ask right now, Phil, is there any kind of character that the girls can relate to?
Well, there is, and her name is She-Ra, and there's another one that is out there that is for girls, basically, and that's Golden Girls. Now, girls watch the other cartoons, too. One thing I'd like to do is tie all this information up that we've given people. You see, all this stuff links together because when a child watches the cartoon, they no longer, as we said in the first show, project themselves with their imagination into the toy and give it life, character, abilities, and talents and set the surrounding around it. They've been programmed by the cartoon to play with the toy in a certain manner. And so if the cartoon says that a character has occult powers, then when the child plays with the toy, he is going to use that toy to cast spells or do whatever the toy does in the cartoon. And so he's programmed to play with the toy in a certain manner.
Well, let's take a toy, for instance. Then he'll take the little He-Man, and he'll begin to yell those words by the power of Grayskull, and he'll begin to throw spells on people by his own imagination of powers, and really it gets the children looking into the occult for their powers. Is that correct?
Yeah. Creates a taste for the occult. And they play with, like Skeletor, and they levitate him, and then when they don't have the toys and they're on the playground, then they take on these characters in fantasy role-playing themselves, and they imagine themselves with these occult powers.
I got you. Well, let's go on now and show what the girls are identifying with, which is She-Ra.
Right.
Here's an opening to one of the She-Ra cartoons, and it shows her getting her powers also. Let's go to that right now.
Dora, He-Man's twin sister and defender of the Crystal Castle. This is Spirit, my beloved steed. Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day I held aloft my sword and said, "For the honor of Grayskull!" I am She-Ra! Only a few others share this secret. Among them are Light Hope, Madame Raz, and Cowl. Together, we and my friends of the Great Rebellion strive to free Etheria from the evil forces of Horda!
Well, there we saw She-Ra with the same kind of, she said, by the power of Grayskull. And Phil, as I'm watching this, I'm wondering, is She-Ra as occultic, as blatantly occultic into witchcraft as He-Man?
Well, the clip we have will show that she is, in some cases, even more occultic. What we're about to show in this next clip is a mystic competition on throwing and casting spells. And I think that would be very interesting for the people to see now.
And this was taken right off TV. We didn't look for this. This was just the first thing we recorded.
Yeah, everything's been recorded.
Let's watch the competition of witchcraft here in She-Ra.
Oh, wonderful, She-Ra. Absolutely wonderful. Pardon me, noble lady. May I enter this competition? Why, of course, my dear. In Mystical, all are welcome to compete. Please, go right ahead. Drop ye down in one great heap. Drop ye down. Be still and sleep.
Must stop her. Oh.
Oh, no! It's Shadow Weaver! And now, my dear She-Ra, I have a surprise in store for you. Sacred words that none do know. From nameless book with mystic glow. Take her now beyond, below. Celestica, Celestico. You are entering the sixth dimension. You fall into...
Now, I don't know about you that are watching today, but I'm absolutely shocked at what's being perpetrated on our children through these cartoons. We've just watched a mystical world called Mystical or something like that, and there's a witchcraft competition going on, and this girl, She-Ra, who is a mythical, like a goddess to the children, she's got occultic spells and incantations that are being thrown, and I mean, what are the implications of all this, Phil?
Well, it's direct link to the occult and pagan religion again. And we saw in there that She-Ra was sent to the sixth dimension. We're talking about Eastern religion. I mean, everything that has taken its basis from Hinduism and other religions like that has been added into our toys and cartoons these days.
Now, you talk about Hinduism. Would we see anything like the martial arts or you know, yoga exercises? Well, we did see yoga exercises last week in Skeletor taking that position. Let's go on to Thundercats for a moment, because I believe there's something to do with the martial arts in the Thundercats series.
Yes, they are involved in the martial arts. They're also half men, half lion. Again, the beast-man combination, much like many of the gods of the ancients were half men, half beast, or hybrids. These are half men, half lions. And they do things like communicate with the dead and have occult powers themselves.
So let's go and look at the Thundercats right now, who we saw are taken from heathen gods of the past, ancient heathen gods. Here's Thundercats.